Hey YouTube, it's Nick here. Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be talking about my plan for August 2026, and it's basically going to encapsulate what I'm going to do for the rest of the year as well. But mainly we're going to focus on August right now. A little bit of what we're going to touch on is finishing up July, continued automation. So that'll be into things like my Roth IRA, company stock match, building up cash using yield rewards, stocks, basically the S&P 500, Nasdaq, what I'll be investing into, tech, maybe even some single stocks, and then we'll finish it off at the end with crypto as well, as far as Bitcoin, Ethereum, and gold. So right now, the whole point of not only just this month, but even earlier, as far as late back as October of 2025, my whole foundation has been built on building a good base. So main thing that I have in my portfolio right now is Bitcoin. So as you'll see in a few seconds, I'm heavily allocated into Bitcoin, and I want to slow that down a little bit. I've also feel like I built up a decent position in Ethereum that I'm comfortable with, so I don't necessarily want to put more money into it. Like my goal is to still have one coin. My goal is also to still have one BTC coin, which obviously that'll take an extremely long time. And then another thing that I've started doing is reaccumulating gold in the form of PAXG. Say what you want, but I believe in tokenization and I believe in tokenized gold. And then another thing that I did with building that foundation is investing $10 a day into stocks, and I would split that up between VOO, QQQM, and SCHD. So if we take a look here at the portfolio, this is kind of where we're sitting at. So my current milestone is to reach about 5K with everything invested. Technically, I'm there if we count company stock match that I get and my Roth IRA, but right now I'm just kind of focusing it on the taxable in my Robinhood account and then my crypto account as well on Coinbase, excluding any cash that might be sitting. So, like I said, we're pretty heavily allocated into Bitcoin. We have about zero point zero 0.04 Bitcoin. We have basically 27% of a Ethereum coin. We have about 500 in there, and then we have about almost $40 of PAX Gold. Now, if we the next thing that I've been focusing on now is going to be my Robinhood account. That's the thing that I do want to build up the most going forward in August. So as you see right now, we have about $5 a day into VU, $2 a day into SEHD, and then about $3 a day into QQQM. So if you see here on the right side, these are basically this is going to be what the current price for those shares are, but we're going to change it so to where you can see my equity of what I actually own of those shares. So with QQQM, we're pretty close to owning about one share of them. Most people who probably invest, or even if you don't invest, QQQM is what gives you the Nasdaq 100. And this is heavily allocated into things that are in tech. Now, these companies that you will see, they're also allocated into the S&P 500 as well too. But once I reach about one share of this, I'm gonna stop. So I have about maybe 35 to less than $40 left to even get there. And you'll see my average cost right there, and we're up about three almost 3% over the entire year with it. But the thing is that I feel like I'm built enough into the QQQM. So the next thing that I want to focus on is just building up the S&P 500. That's what I really want to be my base moving forward with this entire account. And that's kind of going to be the entire focus for August is to kind of lean away from crypto, and then we're gonna be selective on where we allocate our money. But that'll kind of help me transition into the next thing that I'm really focused on. And the main thing is going to be cash. That's what I want. So if you haven't seen my recent video about this, basically one of the ways I'm going to use to continue building up my Bitcoin reserve is that I'm going to let my debit card that I get through Coinbase give me cash back in Bitcoin, and then I'm also going to let the cash that I have on Coinbase earn me a yield, and then basically that'll be my allocations into Bitcoin. As you see here, this can kind of show you a little bit of what I've been getting. So I've been getting about a couple cents here recently since I held more cash. Had about 40 cents in rewards, 53 cents in rewards. And now all of this seems small at the current moment, but here's the plan. As I build up that cash position, that's how I am going to get more allocation into Bitcoin through this. So let's just say I hold about a couple. Let's say if I held about $5,000 in here, and I'm just gonna ask AI this. So if I hold about $5,000 in cash, and then I get a 3.35 or just a 3.5% APY. 3.5% APY on $5,000 cash is that's gonna be about $175 a year, and then that would be about $14 a month. And that I would be completely comfortable with having allocated into Bitcoin. Just maybe a couple dollars here, because keep in mind it's not going to just be the USDC rewards working as well too. I'm also going to have the debit card working in the background for me. And if you look here at the card, I shop every day. I buy something, even if it's a snack or something like that. I'm gonna still get in some way, shape, or form um, cash back in my Bitcoin. Now it is small; it's only 0.5%. I understand that, but over time, all of these will add up, and I wish it was higher. The next thing that I have planned out is to sign up for the Coinbase One credit card as well too. So the only thing is that when I applied for it, I was only given I was accepted, but I was accepted to the point where I would only be able to put a deposit down, and that's what I don't want. So I'm using like some credit builder loans a little bit, and I'm just keeping my credit utilization down too, and then just paying things down, so that way I can build up my credit. So that way, the next time I do apply for it, I don't have to put anything down, and I'll be happy with whatever they give me. But right now, I don't feel like locking any money away because I already have that for another card, and it's only like $100, but still, like I don't want my money locked away. So eventually, we will add this to the stack, and we'll just be able to accumulate more Bitcoin that way. Or and who knows, maybe I'll change my mind. Maybe I'll suck it up and I'll just put the deposit down, and then I'll just hold it that way and accumulate Bitcoin. And then maybe one day if I decide to close the card, then boom, I'll get whatever I deposit back once I close it. But that's the main thing. So we have about maybe less than a month before I can do that again. And I think I'm gonna be honest with you. I think everything should be fine around that time to where I don't have to put a deposit down. But if I do, I might just suck it up, because even the money I deposit, it'll still earn a yield. So either way, I would still win at the end of the day. But I just don't like having money locked up that I can't use at any moment, if that makes sense. So next thing, like I said, we covered the yield and the cash back. Is going to be on ETFs. So the ETF that I'm really going to be allocating into completely for the rest of August and maybe even this year is going to be the S&P 500. Now, and that's going to be VOO. So I already do that in my Roth IRA. I do VTI in my Roth IRA. So that's just the entire stock market in the United States. But in my taxable, I have VOO. So that's going to continue to be my base. I might just up that to $10 a day. We'll see. I'm still contemplating it, but the main thing is that once we hit this milestone of QQQM, I'm gonna push to get one share of VOO next, and then we're just gonna keep going. But once we get QQQM, the next thing that I'm gonna be doing is that I'm gonna look into some individual stocks now, and I'm not gonna buy a couple. I have about two to three on my radar, but I'm probably just gonna settle down and just pick one. I honestly might just pick one. And right now I'm sitting between AMD, Robinhood, and SoFi. Now, SoFi basically it's similar to Robinhood, but they're basically trying to be the all-in-one banking app where you get your loans from them, you can get credit cards, you can invest, everything. Their whole goal is to establish an ecosystem so that way they keep their customers for an extended period of time. That's really it. That's all it is. Now, Robinhood, they have a little bit of a similar function with that. And it's a great company, and obviously I use it as well too. So I see the things that they're doing. The main thing that makes Robinhood attractive is that, again, they have one of the best credit cards on the market. You get 3% cash back on every purchase. It's actually phenomenal. They make investing extremely easy. That's another thing. You can literally start for just $1. And if you do want to get started on Robinhood, maybe you don't even have it, you can use my link down below. You get a free stock anywhere from 5 to 200 bucks. So I'm just throwing that out there. I'm just you and I both would get a free stock. I did that with someone recently, and I ended up getting a share of Microsoft. Reason why is because that's a company I'm comfortable holding for at least 10 to 20 plus years. But am I going to add to it? I don't know. But the main thing that I am looking at is, like I said, AMD, Robinhood, and SoFi. And then to kind of close it off, AMD. It's a chip maker. It's directly connected into competing with Nvidia. Nvidia can't make all the chips, and I think AMD is going to be just as good as a company, as Nvidia is, and it actually is can potentially even go up to maybe even $1,000 plus dollars in its stock market price. So I'm leaning the most towards AMD because like I've invested in it a little bit throughout this year. So I've seen it when it was at the low 200s, and I still believe there's a lot of juice left in the tank. And then the next thing is Robinhood. So those are the two I'm kind of battling with. I'm going to choose AMD if all else fails. But that will be the main thing that I'm focused on is building up my cash reserve. If I am going to allocate anything into crypto, it's just going to be through rewards or cash back. And I might just keep like $1 a day allocating into Bitcoin, just $1 a day, because I do believe in the long term projection of it. I just don't think it's gonna make me like a millionaire if it makes sense. Whereas if I put in um you know $3,000 now versus if that was in like 2010, if that makes sense. And then we're gonna keep our Ethereum position. If we somehow get below like 1,200, $1,300, I might allocate some capital into that. And then basically when it comes to gold through PAXG, basically anything under 4K, I'm adding money into there. So you see right now my average price is about $3,998. Anything that's below this or even damn near at that mark, then I'll probably put in like 10, 15, $20. Just a steady accumulation into gold there. And the plan with the gold is to honestly never sell it. But if I will be honest, that's probably been the thing that I've have had to sell the most, because sometimes I just might need some extra liquidity for something, or maybe I don't want to touch a certain fund, so I see it there and it's like, okay, I might as well. But right now, the main thing is going to be building up the stock side of my portfolio moving forward, and we're going to have VU. I want VU to kind of dominate because if I was to put it side by side with everything that I have, especially this and Bitcoin and everything, I'm about 60 to 66% allocated into Bitcoin versus everything else. So that would cover most of my portfolio. I If anything, I want the S&P 500 to be almost the exact same allocation, so maybe like 40-40, and then everything else, play its part. So that's really it. That's what I'm focusing on. The main thing is that if you do need to take anything away from this video, is going to be that we're building up cash. So that's the number thing I want. If I am allocating into crypto, then I'm going to be using that through yield or cash back through my debit card, and and then we're just going to be building up stocks. So like my goal is to, when August comes, or is to only invest honestly $10 a day, but have that just go into the S&P 500. Because so far, not only just this month, but even earlier in the year, I've been throwing in about maybe 20 plus to 30 plus dollars a day, not only into stocks, but into crypto as well too. But I felt like I said, I feel like I've built the foundation with all of those. And now I just kind of want to let that ride. And then I'm gonna count the cash towards me investing because it's going to be earning me a yield too. And maybe if I hit like 5,000 or 10,000 in just cash sitting, then I'll turn my USDC rewards into getting cash back just in that versus having it go straight to Bitcoin. But we'll see. There's a lot of ways that this can be optimized, but like I said, the main thing was to build a foundation, and we're just about there. And now I want to keep building that foundation, but just focusing on the S&P 500, so VOO, and then and that's literally it. Like that's literally it. It's nothing else special to it. Like I'm not trying to, and it shouldn't be difficult either. Um, and the whole purpose of this video is to just kind of see where it takes me. Because again, like I'm just a retail investor. I'm not somebody with a hedge fund or anything like that. I haven't built a $1 million business or anything like that. But this is the plan that I think will help me build up my portfolio and give me some financial flexibility. So if you did like the video, stay tuned for more. Uh, like it if you did. Subscribe if you're new. And if you are thinking about it, or maybe if you already are invested, let me know what you plan on doing. All right. Hope you have a good day. Thanks for watching. Bye.